this video is from the starting of creation of database. So to create a database, just write a command, create database with database name. I'm going to create a database name employee here. So just write create database employee, query OK. So just to check whether the database has been created or not, just write show databases. So this show databases will show how many databases we have already created in this SQL software. So we have created an employee database, so it is in the first row. So we are going to use this employee database to create a tables. So for that you should use this use command, use employee. So just write use employee to use this database. In this employee database we are going to create a tables. Just create a table now. So to create a table, just write the command create table. So the name of the table we are going to name it now. So the name of the table we can keep it as EMP. In employee table, so the table we are going to create is EMP. Okay, then the column name 1 with data type and size, column name 2 data type and size, and we can add the primary key and we can select here itself. There is an option to create which one is a primary key or which one is a candidate key or an alternate key. So we can write here itself. So I'm going to create a table named EMP. Okay, so the first column here it is E code and the data type it is int. E code and the data type of E code is int, and I'm going to set this as a primary key. For that just write primary key with space. Then second column we are going to write as E name. This is employee name. It should be in char, so I'm going to give it with 20 characters. So the next is we can write gender. So here also it should be the char data type. We can write up to 1 character for gender. So the next we can write grade. So the grade of an employee, next column it is. So here also we can write it with char data type. So up to 2 characters. So the next for an employee they will be calculating the gross amount. So for that I am writing gross. It should be in decimal. So we can write the gross might be in decimal. So I am writing it as a decimal. So just close the bracket. So just I'm extending this screen. So I have extended the screen. So we have created a table named M with E code as a first column, and it should be assigned as a primary key by us at the starting itself, and E name is your second column, gender is your third column, grade is your fourth, and gross decimal is your fifth column. So gross is the total amount of employee. The calculation they will be made. So that is called as gross. The amount it is calculated, it should be in the decimal format. So I'm going to click the enter now. So the next query OK. So the table has been created. Employee table has been created. Just to know whether the table is created or not, we can write show tables. So we have created only one table here. So it is showing that it is EMP. We have created the table called EMP. After that, I am going to insert the values inside the tables. So we can see the structure of the table by using the describe command. Describe EMP, the table name. So just it is showing the structure of the table. They ask you to write the structure. What is the command to see the structure of the table? So we can write describe EMP. So both are playing same role. So if you write describe also, then it means the same thing. Describe or DESC command we can give with the table name. So both will give you the same structure. So what and all we have created, that thing will be here. So here in this PRI it is a primary key. So the key we have already inserted it as a primary key. So other thing of that is we have not mentioned, so it is in empty column. So the next null values, so there is no, here we have mentioned the values, but here in we have not mentioned any size, that's why it is showing it as no. Then these are the number of columns, so that's why it is called as field name. Field names are e-code, e-name, gender, grade and gross, and the types are here. So here the decimal has been assigned as 10, 0, so it can accept 10 numbers. So the total length it is 10 numbers, and we have not mentioned how much point it should get after the decimal, which numbers it should be. So we have not mentioned, so it is showing it as 0. So now we are going to insert the values inside the table EMP. So now write the insert command, insert into the table name. So what is the table name? It is EMP. So just write insert into EMP and write the column names. Write e-code, comma, don't need to write any data type here. So just write the column name, e-code, e-name, gender, comma, grade, then gross. So just close the bracket, and after that you can add the values for each. Then write the values and again open the bracket and write the values of that. Okay, just write values 1001. Okay, 1001, comma, Alia. Then again you can write comma and then write female. The next is grade. So just we can write it as R5. So this is some grade. The next it is what? The next it is gross value. So we can write 7689.00. So in decimal I have written. So we have inserted the table now. We have inserted the values inside the tables. Now query OK, one row affected. So we have created one row now. So likewise we are going to add one by one. Add the rows one by one. So if we need to add any null values, here itself we can add. So there are two types to insert the value. So just we have mentioned already, just we have written employee and all the columns here and the values of all the columns line by line. So if we need to write any null values, insert any null values, we can write it here. So just changing the second data. I'm going to insert the second data. Now we can write the second data as Deepa and female, and the ID grade is R4 we can write, and the salary, the gross amount we don't know, means just write null. So I'm going to create this value as a null. So to insert the null values, just when you're writing this insert command, you can write here like null. Without any quotes, quotation marks, you should insert this null values. Now again query OK, the second row has been created. So there is another way to insert the data. So without this, just we can write, just if you are writing only the e-code, e-name and gender, and the values are e-code, I'm going to change this as 6 and the name it is Reenka, female. So the next I have inserted here, selected e-code, e-name and gender. Likewise you should give e-code, e-name and gender. Properly we should write the corresponding values, and then I'm going to delete the remaining values here. So just I'm going to insert the third data. Okay, so this third data, we are missing the remaining two values of grade and gross. We have missed out in the third inserted data. So what it will come in the output? So it will be showing null values for grade and gross in the case of Reenka. So the next inserting command. So the next way to insert a value is just write only the table name values. Insert into EMP values and just write all the columns. All the columns. You should fill all the columns. If you are following this insert command, just write all the columns e-code, ename, gender. Then after that it is grade. Grade it is, we can write it as R2. R2 should be in the quotation mark, and character female or male should be in the quotation mark, and the name should be in the quotation mark. And whenever you are writing the names, dates, date of birth, that should be also in the quotation marks. So the next is grade, I have written. Then after that you should write the gross amount, 0.00. So just I have written like this, and entering query OK, one row affected. Now we have created 4 types of rows. We have created 4 rows in table EMP. Okay, the first row I have used insert into command by using employee, insert into employee, and I have written all the column names and then values, and after that it is followed by values of all the column names. So the second command, I have inserted the null values. I have inserted the null values. The second, it has been updating this last column with null values for Deepa. And the third insert command, I have selected only 3 columns because I know the details only for the 3 columns for particular person. So I am writing only e-code, e-name and gender, but I don't know the grace and gross, means it will update the values with null. Okay, so just write the opt corresponding values of e-code here in the value section and e-name and gender. If you are filling it with the some other remaining values here without adding the column, then it will show you an error. Okay, this is the third type of inserting the values into the table. And the fourth type is, if you are writing all the corresponding values line by line, you just write insert into employee values directly if you are writing all the details of the column. So just write insert into EMP values, then you are going to write all the details of the column. So here also you can insert the null values. So now to retrieve the data from the table, just write the select command, select star from EMP. So the star, this asterisk symbol means it will show you the full table with rows and columns. See here, it is showing all the names and all the rows and all the columns. So select star from employee will show all the details of the employee table. So we have inserted the first row with 1001 Alia female and R5 and gross it is 7689. And e-code for the second one, we have inserted the null values for this gross value. And for the third type of insert command, we have inserted only e-code, e-name and gender. So that is only it has been updated, and the remaining values which we are not updated is coming as null value. It is automatically treat that value as null. And then the last command we have worked out to add all the values, then it is also working as same as the first command. So the first command for insert into employee with values is same as the last command if you are inserting all the particular values with corresponding columns. Okay, now to retrieve the data from this table, how to write by using the select command. The particular column we should retrieve means, so select, just write select. So instead of star, the star gives you all the details, all the columns of the employee table. So just write the column name here. If I need to get e-code or e-name, just write e-name, e-code, e-name from EMP. So it is showing only the e-code and e-name. So if you need to get e-name first and e-code second, just type here first one e-name and the second one as e-code. So it will reorder the column. So in the first, what is the value we are giving the first? Which column we are naming first, that will show you in the first column. So here I have given e-code in the first column and e-name in the second column. That's why it has been coming like this arrangeably. So second, I have changed e-name in the first column and e-code in the second column. So it's showing like this. So e-name is first column and e-code is followed by the e-name.